Your inner being wants what you want and is going to give you inspired action steps to take. So you've been studying the law of attraction, you've been putting all these concepts into practice, and you're still wondering why your stuff hasn't shown up. So I want to give you this one important step that I think a lot of times we miss in the law of attraction community, particularly because of some of the things that we've heard and we haven't really been able to consolidate in our own minds, rationalize it. So let's begin. I want to start off by sharing a quick parable with you. There's this man, we'll call him John. John is in the middle of a flood. And John, him and his dog are in this flood, and he's on the roof of his house, and the water just keeps rising and rising. And he sends out a prayer. He says, God, please, please, I know that you're with me. I know that you're going to take care of me. I know you're going to save me. And so 20 minutes later, a guy with a jet ski comes along. And he says, hey, hop on. And John says, no, thank you. Take my dog, though. I know that God's going to come down and save me. So you just take my dog and then pick up anyone else who needs you. 20 minutes later, the water's rising. A boat comes along. The guy says, hey, come on, hop in the boat. John says, no, thank you. I know the Lord is going to save me. I know God's going to save me, take care of me. You just go and pick up as many people as you can. The guy says, all right. 20 minutes later, a helicopter comes down. The water's rising. It's almost to his feet. They say, hey, hop on the ladder, come up. John says, no. Go save somebody else. God is going to take care of me. God's going to provide for me. Just go. Go and help somebody else. Helicopter takes off. John dies. John gets to heaven. John meets God at the pearly gates. He says, God, I prayed to you. I knew you were going to come for me. Why didn't you come and get me? God looks at John and says, what do you mean? I sent you a jet ski, a boat, and a helicopter. What else do you need? With the law of attraction, that is a very pertinent story. I can tell you from personal experience, I wanted the spontaneous miracles, the spontaneous healing, the spontaneous manifestation. The problem with wanting the manifestations spontaneously is something we're about to discuss. So the main problem with just wanting these spontaneous manifestations is not having the awareness that spirit, that the universe, that God is in everything. And so here's a perfect example. God is everything. God is everything. Woo. And I need to make that darker. I'm going to make that darker. God is everything, this whole thing. So God is your doctor. God is your healer, your health practitioner. God is your dog, your tree, your food. God is the doggy. I'm not a very good drawer. Either doggy. God is the tree. God is all of these things. God is your food, your carrots. You'll say I don't know how to make an apple. A carrot. That's a terrible carrot. God is all of these things. Spirit. God is omnipresent within everything. So all these blue things are within the circle of the divine, of God. Now, you want the spontaneous healing. However, God may come to you in the form of your doctor and say, hey, you need to start eating better. We need to do this procedure to help you. Or your health practitioner says, hey, you need to start exercising and eating differently. Here, let me give you a roadmap for how to heal, how your body can heal itself. We oftentimes, with the spontaneous healing, want Jesus or some form that's other than Jesus to come down and just put their hands on us and voila, everything's better. But that's not the beauty of being human. The beauty of being human is that you get to make choices that will change your circumstances. Now, I just erased that, disappeared, but your circumstances will change as you make new decisions. As Tony Robbins always says, decisions equals destiny. Your destiny will be changed by your decisions. You can't get something for nothing in this reality. There's an exchange of energy. And so, if you want better health, and you ask and you truly believe that your health is going to change, you may feel inspired action. Inspired action. That is the key to manifestation. You have the vision mentally. Your spirit has already expanded. We'll get into this a little bit, but your spirit has already expanded and has become what you're asking. God is what you're wanting. And so, knowing what spirit knows and being imbued within everything, it knows the fastest, easiest way for you to manifest that very desire. And it's trying to inspire you to make that change. So when you feel yourself, let's say you're asking for a better relationship. You've asked for all the things. You've asked for a beautiful person, somebody you're attracted to. Beautiful. You've asked for smart. You've asked for them to be kind. You've asked for them to be funny. The best one, you've asked for them to be weird. And so when you've asked for this person, your soul, your inner being, has expanded. That's a huge head for you, being so happy. Yay! And a little tiny body. This is your inner being existing in this reality with your perfect partner. Wee! You're two. Wee! With a long arm holding hands. You are with this person. You are this person right now in vibrational reality. Now, when we've talked about the emotions are telling us how connected you are with this aspect of yourself. You are a multidimensional being. Your soul is expanded, is this. But in order to get you from physical you, who's kind of sad, we'll do physical you as a blue person. Your physical you is kind of sad, even though you're blue. All sad. Because you're not with your person. Because you keep looking at your circumstances as not having had that manifestation already, you feel sad. But as you visualize, like we did in our previous video, all of being with this person, this perfect person where your soul already is, you feel better. Your emotions feel better. The better you feel, the more in alignment you are. Alignment. Or resistance. So the better you feel, the more alignment you feel, or the more in alignment you are. The worse you feel, the more resistant you are to where this inner being, higher self, soul, already exists. Now, the beauty of this is this aspect of you will always be moving through you as we go back to our big circle, right? Our big circle of everything again. This is your inner being right here, understanding the fastest, easiest, most efficient way to get you into that perfect state of unity. The problem, the really difficult thing, is oftentimes we want it to happen in a specific way. And what does that cause? It causes resistance. From our little mind, instead of connecting with our big mind, which are both us, our small mind, our ego mind, causes us to recognize what is happening. I see that I'm not in a relationship, so I'm unhappy. I'm disconnected from my soul. Look how happy my soul is. My soul, your inner being is never going to move from that space. Always here, always connected. And you get the opportunity to connect and align or disconnect, and it just happens through your thoughts. When you are in alignment, you will take inspired action. When you feel in alignment, you will feel inspired action. And what does inspired action feel like? It can feel like just a repetitive message in your mind. it can feel like just a little bit of relief. And when it feels like relief, when you're emotionally feeling better, you're on your way to taking the perfect inspired action. But you're going to get repetitive messages, or you may get repetitive people coming to you, or you may see an advertisement. And heaven knows we know what Google does when we look something up, and then Google's going to give us a million, and Facebook and all these social media things are going to give us a million opportunities. But you'll know if you're taking inspired action if what? You feel good. Feeling good. And it doesn't mean you have to be feeling in joy and bliss and gratitude. It could just mean that you feel hopeful. Hopeful's above that allowing line. As soon as we get above hopeful or above contentment, we start to align and we start to manifest what it is that we desire. Anything below that, we're going against the current. So when you're taking an action step and you feel worn down and beat up and frustrated and annoyed, like it's not going to work out, guess what? You're not taking the right steps. When you are taking steps forward and you feel good taking them, you are in inspired action. You are in alignment. You are getting to where your inner being already is. You are moving in the right direction. A friend of mine, Joanna, hey Joanna, she asked me about this today, and I thought, man, she's taking such good inspired action. She said, Zach, sometimes am I doing it wrong if um, when I ask for something, I just get these like messages, and then I'm able to kind of change my behavior? Not at all. That is the perfect state of allowing. You're a master manifester if you're Joanna. If you are taking those action steps when you're feeling motivated, when you're feeling inspired, inspirato, in spirit, right? When you have that deep breath in, and it feels fresh, and it feels relieving, and it feels invigorating. The problem with a lot of us is that we take action out of feeling resistant. We think we're going to work our way out of the muck. If you're really resistant and you're in depression, way down here, in despair, that looks like Despain, but it's despair. And you're in despair and depression, just moving yourself up slightly, up to anger, up to rage, up to annoyance, up to pessimism, moving yourself up all the way slowly within your own thought process, or meditating, or watching a beautiful movie, petting your dog, taking a walk in nature. Anything that's going to help you feel better and take your attention away from what is concerning your overwhelming frustrations in the moment. You're going to be moving up, right? The cork naturally wants to rise. Your inner being is waiting for you to connect. It's just about you, and your inner being is going to constantly be pulling you upward. This inner being is pulling you upward. Your inner being wants you to move up. It's like a cork in the water, Abraham's analogy. You push a cork down with resistant thought, and as soon as you let it go, what happens? The cork bobs to the surface, all the way up into alignment, up into a joy, gratitude. Your inner being wants what you want and is going to give you inspired action steps to take. So these inspired action steps that you're going to want to take are anything that feels better. Feels better. And they can come in so many forms. They could come in the form of you just taking a walk. They can come in the form of you watching a movie, listening to some music, petting your dog, all the things I just mentioned. And it really doesn't matter what action steps you take as long as they feel good in the midst of doing them. Feels better. as long as you feel relief, feel better. Even if when you ask a girl who you feel pushed to ask out and she says, "No, I'm sorry, I'm not interested." That's okay. You took inspired action. It just means that she was a stepping stone to the next one. Even if you do all these things and you incorporate new behaviors and you go and get your blood test and the doctor says, "I'm sorry, you still have high cholesterol. I'm sorry, we still found some cancer." If it's inspired action, keep doing it. If you truly feel joy, love, gratitude in the midst of taking inspired action, you are on the right path. And I know that sometimes we have to push a little bit, right? Sometimes we have to do something that we're uncomfortable with. But notice the difference between discomfort and inspired action. It's very subtle. It's a willingness. You feel a willingness inside yourself. That is inspired action. You don't feel like you need to do it. You feel like you want to do it, even though it may be difficult. And doing the hard thing, if we listen to Andrew Huberman at all, we know that it's going to make your brain change. But you can't get something for nothing. And if you want different results, wait for it while I slowly write. You have to, you already guessed it, do something different. And oftentimes the reason you're not taking inspired action is because you have a belief that's holding you back. And a belief is just a thought you've kept thinking that the external world validated and it ingrained itself. A thought is just a wood stick. You have a million thoughts a day. Wow, you have a lot of thoughts a day. 100,000 thoughts, I think they say. A belief is a brick house, a wood house, a log cabin. So it's going to take time to dismantle that log cabin by self-reflection and assessing those beliefs as they arise in the moment. But you want different results, you have to do something different. It's that simple. So if you truly, I'll give you my example and then we'll call it a day. I had one of my lobes of my lungs wasn't opening appropriately anymore as a result of some fluid buildup. And so the fluid disappeared, but then the lobe just stopped working. So I'm driving my car and I'm like, Spirit, what do I need to do? I know you're within me. I know you're giving me the guidance. What do I need to do to help this lung expand? And the first thought was, just practice breathing deeply. You breathe so shallowly all the time. And I thought, that's true. I do breathe shallowly. Even when I come out of anesthesia, the nurses are always like, "Hey, Zach, I need you to take deeper breaths." Just breathe deeper. So what did I do? I started breathing deeply throughout the day. Not huge, just deeper. And what? I could feel this lobe start to open. I could feel this opening in my lower lobe. I thought, wow, that's all I had to do was something a little differently. And it changed the ability for me to take in oxygen. But if we want different results, we have to do something differently. We have to be willing to do something differently. And we have to be acknowledging our feelings emotionally as we take those action steps. Then we're in inspired action. If not, we're just running around like chickens with our heads cut off. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Inspired action. Take it, but feel it. Don't just start acting. Movement. Then you're just running around like a robot. Do something different for yourself. You want the different results, even if that's meditating every day, if it's writing, journaling, if it's writing your perfect life, like we did in our last video, and then rereading it and then visualizing it every day. Do something different. You think you're doing all the right stuff, but you're not. I, for one, can attest, I'm not doing all the right stuff. I know I can be doing this and that and this and that if I didn't want different results. We have to be honest with ourselves. And if you're truly honest with yourself, there's something you can change. And you know that. And I know that about myself. So you found this video because it's time to take inspired action. And if you've made it this far, I applaud you. Thank you so much for watching. But this is this. You need to take inspired action, not crazy, hard, suffering, pushing against action. Sometimes there's a time for that, but only when you feel that willingness to go hard and push, right? And then you will. Your body will adapt, your mind will adapt, and then you'll want to do more challenging things. But challenging feels better. It doesn't feel like discomfort. Maybe feels like discomfort, but it doesn't feel like anger. It doesn't feel like rage. It doesn't feel like despair. It just feels like I have to enter into this new journey. And a lot of the time, that just happens in your own mind. So, without further ado, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I love your comments, your feedback. If you have something else you wanted to add, give me a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. And subscribe, share with your friends, comment, do all of the things. And until next time, I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. Bye. Okay. That's it.